tongue is moving because of what's in the heart, that's the real holy name. The heart is moving the tongue. And we can understand this because if I say I like you, but I don't, then it's just words. Words from my tongue, but my heart may be full of envy or hatred. I think Chanakya Pandit said that. Deceitful person, they're speaking words of nectar, but in their heart there's poison. So it's possible that I can be chanting with my lips, but not with my heart. And that's why he said that chanting is heart deep. And then he also said, because Krishna is the sound incarnation, and just like the deity, Krishna appears in the deity because the spiritual master calls him. He said, Krishna appears in the holy name when the devotee is chanting in the mood of seva, in the mood of service. That's the real holy name. And we all have experience of good chanting and not good chanting. And we all have experience of the... So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said something which I found very significant. Then we're not experiencing the full potency of the holy name. And when we don't experience the full potency of the holy name, we can lose faith in the power of the holy name, which makes sense, because if you're not doing something right, you don't experience the effect of it. If you take a pill, you don't take it according to the doctor's instruction, then the pill doesn't work. And then you don't have faith in the pill. You say, this pill doesn't work. It works, but you didn't take it properly. You weren't supposed to take it with milk, or you weren't supposed to take it with a meal, but you did, so it's not working. So if we take the holy name properly, it works. And we all have experience of the power of the holy name, but we also have experience of chanting and not really being moved by it because we commit offenses. So he said the danger of that is when you don't have proper experience with the holy name, you can lose faith because it seems like it's not doing anything. And I'm sure you all have had experiences of both sides. So, as I said, Prabhupada had faith in the pure chanting, that it could purify anyone. Now, another thing which I think is significant, which you may have thought of before. There are 64 items of devotional service, 5 are which most important, and these are the 5 items that we find in our morning program. Going to the temple is like going to the holy dham. Deity worship, either you do it or you see it. And then chanting and kirtan and sangha. These are the 5 most important aspects of bhakti. But it's quite interesting that at the time of initiation, Prabhupada only asked us to do one of those. Isn't that interesting? Do you ever think about that? Why didn't he make us vow to do all 5? Because those are the 5 most important things, the 5 most potent aspects of bhakti, and Prabhupada only asked us to do one. That means, as we said earlier, 16 rounds has the potency, if we follow the 4 principles, to purify us, to reveal our relationship with Krishna. That's the potency of the holy name. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, within the holy name is our Sarupa with Krishna. It is revealed, or it can be revealed, through the pure chanting of the holy name. So Prabhupada had great faith that even we, no matter how fallen we are, if we chant purely, we can be elevated to the highest position. But chanting purely is the key. Now, I want to say something that I think is extremely significant. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, one of the most important things when you chant a mantra is to meditate on the meaning of the mantra, to understand what it means while you're chanting. And then while you're chanting, entering in the mood. I think some of us, we get Gayatri mantra and we don't fully understand Gayatri mantra. And the more we understand the Gayatri mantra, the more we enter into that meditation, the more powerful it is. And now we have several books have been written on Gayatri mantra. But as you go deeper into Krishna consciousness, the meanings open up. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, to chant a mantra means, the way you chant a mantra means to meditate on the meaning. And then he said something. I don't know if you've heard this before. It's heavy. And he said, unless you meditate on the meaning when you chant, it will take you many lifetimes to become purified. Have you ever heard that before? Isn't that interesting? So it's not just a point to consider, but for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it is the point. That this is, when you get a mantra, this is what must be done. Now, I have another picture I'll share with you. It's these are funny pictures, but it illustrates the point. I have to find a picture. Too late now. Anyway, it's a picture of a devotee, and he looks like a robot. And the idea is that meditation of the prayer. Like, for example, Srila Prabhupada said, the holy name means Krishna, please engage me in your service. But there's a lecture where Prabhupada explained it, and he elaborated on it. So he said, Krishna, please engage me in your service. And then he said, part of the prayer means, I have been engaged in Maya's service for so long. It has caused me so much pain and frustration that I just want to be engaged in your service. I don't want to be engaged in her service any longer. So as you go into the meaning of Krishna, please engage me in your service, it opens up. And if you are feeling, and I think we all feel, that we've had enough of Maya's service, she's not a very kind master. And not only do I want Krishna's service, but I want pure service. I want to be able to give myself purely. Isn't that our desire? Deep down, isn't that what we want? I want to be a pure devotee. I want to be able to serve my spiritual master purely. I want to be able to help people. I want to be an example of bhakti. All these emotions are contained within that prayer, Krishna, please allow me to serve you. And also, if you expand that, then you can enter into the mood of, Krishna, for so many lifetimes, I turned my back on you. I moved away from you. And I went the other direction. And I committed so many sins. But you've always been waiting for me. And you're so merciful that you've given me this process to come back to you. And so there's some remorse there. There's some guilt there. But that remorse and guilt empowers the emotion of Krishna, I just want to serve you. I want to be your devotee. So when Prabhupada says the holy name means Krishna, I want to serve you, it means all these other things as you open it up. And so when Bhaktivinoda Thakur says we should meditate on the meaning, he doesn't mean as a mental process. He means as an emotional process, that we should be connected with the emotion, Krishna, I want to serve you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I want to be a pure devotee. I don't want to serve Maya. We're not thinking it, but we're feeling it. And that coincides with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta when he said, from Goloka to the ear, to the heart, to the tongue. When it goes to the heart, what does the heart say? Krishna, I just want to be a pure servant. I don't want to think about myself. I want to think about your service. And so you've connected with the meaning. It's a prayer for service. And now that mantra that's coming out of your mouth, that's pure. So, what I thought we could do is we could chant some japa together. And I am going to recite or read various meanings of the holy name that have been given by the acharyas. And I'll read one meaning every few minutes. And I might read the same meaning for a few times. And what I would like you to do is not get in your head so much, but I would like you to take the meaning into your heart. So you don't get distracted while you're chanting, but you imbue your chanting with that prayer, with that emotion, with that feeling. If you get it into your head and you're just thinking about it, it could distract you. But if you get it into your heart, that's the mood with which you're praying. Would you like to do that? You think that's a good idea? You all have your rounds to chant, right? So I thought, what time is it for you now? Like 8:30 or 7:30 or something?
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so still a good, and you just listened to Kirtan for an hour, so you probably have some rounds. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway,
Yes.
You can chant more rounds. Ekadashi, right?
Yeah.
So I think we should mute. Everyone should stay muted. But I can't be muted, and I will recite one meaning, and you don't really have to pay attention to me, because periodically I will recite this meaning just to kind of remind you, to direct you. And it'll be an experience or a practice of trying to enter more deeply into what the holy name means, rather than just chanting when we get the order to chant our rounds, then some of us think that the most important thing about chanting is to finish the 16 rounds. And if I finish the 16 rounds, then I've fulfilled the order of my guru. But there's a letter Prabhupada wrote at the initiation of one devotee, and he mentioned, yes, you should chant 16 rounds, 4 principles, but he said 16 good rounds. So when we say 16 rounds, we don't just mean 16 rounds somehow or other, getting them done. But we mean 16 rounds without offense. Otherwise, why would Prabhupada have us discuss the 10 offenses at initiation? Because chanting the holy name, it's not effective unless we avoid the offenses. But sometimes we misunderstand and we think, well, if I just get 16 rounds done somehow or other, then I fulfilled that order. Technically speaking, you haven't. Because the holy name will give love, but it has to be chanted without offense to give love. It doesn't produce the fruit if we make offenses. So just to finish your 16 rounds, that's good, but to chant while making offense, it won't produce the result, because we're trying to come to the stage of Shuddha Nam, pure chanting. And pure chanting means chanting without offense. And the beginning of chanting without offense, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, is chanting, making the effort not to commit the offense. So it begins with making the effort. And then from that, we will actually come to the platform where we can chant without offense. And so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, if I'm chanting, but I'm not trying to avoid the offenses, that's an offense. And if I'm trying to avoid the offenses, even though I'm making the offense, Prabhupada said it's not an offense because I'm trying to avoid the offense. So the key ingredient here is the effort to avoid the offenses, which distinguishes Nam Aparad from the second stage, Nam Abhas. The Nam Abhas stage is we're making an effort to avoid the offenses. And when we perfectly can avoid the offenses, that's Shuddha Nam. And when we chant Shuddha Nam, that produces love. So the goal is Shuddha Nam. We should always remember that. Of course, if we make a vow, that is a goal. But in and of itself, it's not the goal. The goal is 16 rounds purely, without offense, at least with the effort to avoid the offense. And, as we said earlier, part of that process is to meditate on the meaning of the holy name. So I think that's clear now. And so, get out your beads, and start chanting, and don't worry about me. I'm just going to guide you. And don't think too much about it. Whatever I guide you, just try to enter into the mood. Whatever I say, think about, okay, what's the mood? What's the prayer? How I should be praying in this mood. And what you'll find is these meanings, which are all meanings that different acharyas have given, they're actually prayers. They're not like academic definitions of what the holy name means, but it's actually prayers. Although it's defined as this is what the holy name means, it's actually a prayer. Okay, are you ready? Enthusiastic? Okay, there's one other thing I want to tell you. This is something very important. Just give me a few minutes. I forgot to tell you this. Before you chant, there's a few things you can do that will help your chanting. One thing is internally make a conscious switch to turn off your life, just like whatever's going on in your life. Imagine you had a switch, like a light switch, and you could just turn it off. Like right now, my life is off. The only thing now is the holy name. It's just me and Krishna chanting. There's nothing else going on. When you finish chanting, your life will be there. You don't have to worry. All your problems will be there, or maybe they'll all go away while you chant. Your to-do list will be there. Your kids will be there. Your house will be there. You don't have to. So if you altar as the holy name, you're going on the altar to chant, and just as you would do puja, you would be very focused on your puja, on your deity, and nothing else. If you can enter that same mood when you chant, then it becomes almost natural, without effort, to focus. And the second thing is, which is part of a similar mood, is when you chant, there has to be some switch in your life from the consciousness that you're in normally in your day to a consciousness of now I'm connecting with Krishna. It's a different consciousness, isn't it? From the consciousness we have during the day, where we're doing so many things, then it's more of a rajasic type lifestyle. But when we chant, we have to enter more of a prayerful mood. And so it's important if we could make that switch, like acknowledge, now I'm chanting, this is different. Like let's say you were a teacher, you're going into your classroom, there's a little shift you make. Now I'm no longer a mother and a wife, or a father and a husband, now I'm a teacher. Or let's say you're a judge, a magistrate, I'm no longer father, mother, now I'm a magistrate. You're a surgeon, you're a lawyer. When you go into your office, there's a switch, isn't it? So when you chant, we should make a switch. Now I'm switching into something which is not my normal consciousness. So if you can do those two things, which are very similar, it will help you a lot in focusing, because your mind will now not be distracted by what you're doing, because now you're entering in this mood. Very much like when you're going on the altar and you're saying prayers before you go on the altar. So if you can think like that, it will help you. So you can begin chanting, and then I will guide you with these meanings, and then I'm asking you to see if you can meditate through your emotions to enter these meanings. Okay, so we can begin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Please engage me in your service. Please engage me in your service. I am tired of being engaged in Maya service. I just want your pure devotional service. So as I'm talking, just keep chanting. Don't stop to listen. You'll be able to hear me while you're chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram. Please give me pure devotional service. Please give me pure devotional service. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare. Please help me to serve you purely. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna. Please help me to become a pure devotee. Please help me to engage in pure devotional service. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Please accept me. Although I've turned my back on you, although I've turned away from you, now I want to turn towards you. Please accept me as your devotee. Don't push me away. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. For so long, I have served my senses. Now, please accept me as your servant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Please accept me as your servant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Please accept my sincerity. Please accept whatever devotion I can give to you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare. Please pull my heart to you. Please pull my heart to you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Please pull my heart to you. Pull my heart away from Maya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Please capture my heart. Please steal my heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Please take my heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Please steal my heart with your sweetness. Please steal my heart. Capture my heart with your sweetness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Please, may I develop attraction for you. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare. May I develop attraction for your holy name. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare. Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram. Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Please give me a taste for your holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Okay, we can stop chanting now. I know you probably want to continue chanting. But we only have a few more minutes left, and I wanted to ask you if you could put in the chat your experience. Any of you who would like to share their experience, if you could write that in the chat, either in English or in Hindi. And we'd like to see. Of course, I can't read the Hindi. I'll need help in reading the Hindi. But I would like to see, and I think All of us would like to see. Out of this world. Out of this world. Okay, that's good. It's supposed to be. Wonderful. Can someone... Well, you all read Hindi, most of you, right? So you can read the Hindi.
Someone had tears.
I can't read the Hindi.
No, there's a lot of English coming through.
If someone would translate the Hindi for me, a few of them.
Prabhu, the one in Hindi is the translation to what you spoke. And now what's coming on the chat is the experience many devotees. They're all typing that in English.
It works immediately. I got tears. This is nice. I'm so happy. I felt like having association with the Lord in the form of the holy name. Felt like talking to the Lord. It was nice chanting in this way. One of the best chanting class for me. Fantastic. Yeah. It was amazing to continue. Continue it very often. I think I wanted to make a recording of this so we could just play and chant to it. I think that would be nice. The switch out button, turning off your life, yeah, that takes practice. Someone was saying it was hard to turn it off. Tears started coming. Fantastic. Couldn't stop my tears. Felt as if you were speaking my heart. All these prayers were just for me. Well, this is so nice. Wonderful japa, not burdensome, blissful. Wonderful. So, all very similar comments. Focused, yeah. Joyous, powerful. Okay, so we only have a few more minutes, but the point of doing this is that this is not something you need me to do, but this is how you can go more deeply into your chanting. And what we did was just what Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. We're meditating on the meaning of the name. And you can see the meaning when we meditate on it and we give our heart to Krishna, it takes the chanting to a completely different level. So, I'm very happy that you got something from this. And we have a few minutes.
We need you.
If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer, but we only have 2 minutes.
Not question, but I have a request, Prabhuji.
Yes.
You know, a few days ago we had a GBC meeting and Vaisheshika was making presentation. Of course he was doing about the book distribution, and he made one point that what you do is important, he said, but what is more important is how you do it. So we are chanting Hare Krishna worldwide, but we always do not know how to chant the mood and this and that, offenseless. So now we have Kirtan ministry, and I would like more of devotees of your caliber to train devotees how to chant. They are chanting, that's important, but how to chant, and that's where your role comes, Prabhuji, Mahatma Prabhuji, and I humbly beg you, on every Ekadashi we want this. So we will request others also, Sachinandan Maharaj.
Yeah.
So, but from time to time, if you could come back
and
join us, and we had a 100, it's a big participation right now, right here, on Zoom and on different forums. This is being broadcasted, and so this is very, very helpful. It helped me also. This is very essential. Chanting is essential, Harer Nama Iva Kevalam, but how to chant. So you know all the techniques, and so please go on sharing. Let our chanting improve day by day with your help. Help. We need you. We need your help.
Thank you. Whatever I can do, I'm happy to help.
Thank you.
Happy to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to do some service. It was a great honor, and nice to see everyone. And we will see you again, hopefully. The next Ekadashi or the one after. Yeah.
Again and again.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mahatma Prabhu, for your valuable time.
I'm going to go now. It's a bit late at night. Ekadashi is tomorrow for me.
Good night.
Yes. So, humble obeisance, and thank you very much from the entire Krishna Kirtan Ministry team. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna to all of you.
What is next? Kavin Charan?